Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Houston, we have a problem. We got the former owner of the Turkey Leg Hut who is being accused of hindering arrest of an aggravated kidnapping suspect. This, according to Fox 26 News. Nikhil Holmes, owner of the Turkey Leg Hut, has been charged with allegedly helping hide a man wanted for aggravated kidnapping in Harris County. Holmes was arrested on Wednesday and charged with hindering the arrest of wanted suspect Jonathan Cezanne. What we know. Court documents state officers allegedly saw Cezanne at Holmes's home in Cypress at the end of her driveway. Cypress is a suburban community in Houston. They call it a city, but you know what I'm talking about. Holmes came back to her home and left again with another person, documents claim. The officers conducted a traffic stop and asked if anyone was at her home. Records say Holmes did not answer, but officers told Holmes that Cezanne was seen at her home and he had warrants for his arrest. Holmes allegedly maintained that no one else was at her home and she had no knowledge of Cezanne, court documents stated. During the traffic stop, officers were told Cezanne was seen jumping the back fence of Holmes's house. According to court documents, Holmes changed her story to officers and told them she picked up Cezanne's mother. Cezanne told Holmes he thought a cop passed by and told her to look. When she came back home, she did not know if Cezanne had left or was hiding. Why is Jonathan Cezanne being charged with aggravated kidnapping? Here's the backstory. Cezanne is charged with aggravated kidnapping after he is accused of attacking his ex-girlfriend with a tire iron and kidnapping her while he was out on bond for previous charges. According to charging documents, Cezanne allegedly came by his ex's home to pick up shoes, but when she let him in, he forced her into his vehicle. Once she was inside, he physically assaulted her with his fist and with a tire iron repeatedly, documents state. The ex-girlfriend was held against her will for 6 hours, according to court records. Officials say Cezanne eventually dropped her off at a Memorial Hermann hospital after she told him she would not call the police. Looks bad. But here's the deal. If I'm Nikhil's attorney, I'm 100% going with the fact that I did not know he was a fugitive. That's first and foremost. Okay, let's say I did not know. I told him I did not know. But they're telling me when they pull me over, he is a fugitive. This is where it gets sticky, because had they not pulled her over and questioned her and she said he wasn't at her house and all of that type of stuff, if they had just pulled her over and said, yo, we're pulling you over because you were hiding a fugitive, she could say, well, hell, I didn't know he was a fugitive. At that point, they would probably go into her records and check those text messages or emails or whatever forms of communication that they can get their hands on, whatever digital footprint that she may have left behind or he may have left behind. But mainly her, because that's most important, like what she admits to. So if they were able to locate a digital footprint of her acknowledging that she knew he was a fugitive, then they would have something. But let's say they did not have that. If they don't have that, and she says, I didn't know the guy was a fugitive, then she get to go back home after some questioning. But since they pulled her over and they asked her, was anybody else at her house? They already knew the answer to that because they got the house under surveillance. So a lot of times when you're dealing with the police, they ask you questions that they already know the answer to. And they just want to see if you're going to lie about it. And if you lie, if lying shows deceit, right? And if you're deceitful, then in their mind, you're guilty. So you got to be very, very careful how you deal with communicating with the police, because they are trained, not regular police, experts. I mean, I'm talking about the investigators. They're trained to ask certain questions. And depending on how you answer will determine your fate. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. But for right now, it looks bad. Because when they pulled her over, by her own admission, she said nobody was at her house. And they knew somebody was at that house because they had the house under surveillance. Plus, they heard, apparently a witness must have told them that they saw dude jumping the fence trying to make a break. So they already had that information. They already knew that dude was there. Now, unless she can somehow explain away how somebody could be inside of her house and she not know that, then perhaps she got some get back. But other than that, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Now, here's another angle, because this is what they like to do. Tell us what you know about Jonathan. Tell us what you know. And if she can give them some information, see, because this is a big difference when you start talking about snitching and not talking or being an informant or a witness or whatever. All of that stuff go out the window when you're in that hot seat. Not me, because I ain't no snitch. But I'm talking about the people who get themselves caught up in certain situations, and it's a lot easier for a lot of people to just say, you know what, man, what you want to hear, even if it ain't true. Sometimes the police are just basically coach you on what to say. And all you got to do is corroborate it. And they got their man or a woman. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. Turkey Leg Hut, stay in the news. I mean, if it ain't one thing, it's another. What tripped me out about Turkey Leg Hut more than anything is the potential. The potential. I was there in the early days, the early days of the Turkey Leg Hut, before the crowds, before all of the tables were filled. See it blow up and then implode. It's got to be one of the greatest tragic stories in Black history. I mean, the potential. I think at one point, Turkey Leg Hut was making, like somebody said, like $1 million a week or something. I don't know if it was $1 million a week or $1 million a month, but it was $1 million. Anyway, fam, that's my time. What say you? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.